Hello, my name's Doc, and welcome to another devlog for our game Karvaros. Karvaros has been in development for about 2 years now, but the full vision for the game itself didn't really conspire until about a year ago. Karvaros is meant to be an action game that's inspired by the Dark Souls games. We are hoping to have multiplayer in it, co-op, and we really want there to be PvP. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into what I was able to get done on the game this month. In general, I was basically working on the player menu inventory type stuff, but more specifically implementing a crafting mechanic into the game, kind of similar to what Elden Ring has implemented into their game. So I had to create a user interface where you could first of all choose which kind of menu you wanted to open, whether it be your equipment, your inventory, crafting, and so on. And then also make it so once when you had one of these open, you could kind of cycle between them all. So not only did I add that crafting UI, but I also had to create a UI specifically just for all of your inventory. And then I started adding some other things like a map and your options menu. Now, to craft items, you have to obviously be able to get materials and stuff to craft those. So I then created a way to gather materials, but I also wanted there to be some materials that you can kind of pick up and gather, and then other ones that would come from destroying things. So I implemented kind of both of those, and then I implemented the ability to craft those items, made it so that it would pull up how many it requires and then show you how many you have of those items in your inventory. And then a few other things I implemented was be able to drop items and creating a way to have stackable items. So one of the things about the inventory system that's really special for Karvaros is that we've coded it to work similarly to how the menu and inventory system works in Dark Souls. And if you ever played those games, you will know that to navigate through your menus and inventory, you use your D-pad rather than having a cursor usually that you move around and click on things. So what's kind of unique about this is that essentially you have to create lists of all your icons. And basically when you are clicking on the D-pad, you're actually cycling through your lists, and then it grabs the information of that item when you're on that integer in your list. And then whichever one you select, you're then pulling up all that information and basically referencing it for your inputs or item information that's going to be displayed in your user interface. So I found that to be really interesting and different than a lot of other systems that I kind of find. The reason though that we're using the D-pad is because you want to be able to kind of move around as you're going through your inventory and whatnot. So if you're using your joysticks to navigate through your menu, then your guy isn't really going to be able to move around. You can also simplify your menu so that you can see what's happening around you as well. I want to add a little bit more restrictions to this than what Dark Souls has. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I worked on this last month. It's a pretty polished system. I haven't found too many bugs or anything that's been wrong with it, so I'm really happy with that. I think that having a crafting system will be really helpful since you can throw a lot of the weapons. And then also I just really like how in Elden Ring you can craft different things like antidotes and items that are useful in different areas, and makes a lot of sense. So I'm really happy to have that, and I'm excited for the next few things that we're going to implement. Basically, our goal right now is to get the core mechanics of what we want our game to have put together and in a demo that players will be able to experience essentially our vision for how the gameplay for Karvaros will be. And then from there, we're hoping to kickstart the game and fundraise money to help us continue working on it at a full-time pace and get it finished and released sooner rather than later. If you enjoy this content and are interested in seeing more of the development of Karvaros as it's happening, please do subscribe. That will really help more people see it. We'd really appreciate that. Thank you for watching. Bye.